I'm principal architect, also a field CTO in Snowflake. And we have recently introduced an integration with Apache Iceberg here at Snowflake. And I'm going to walk you through some of the overview slides of what we are trying to do and how you can integrate. So we have all heard about these terms and storage architectures in our data world. Um, they are data lakes, data warehouse, data meshes, and lake houses. These are all several popular storage patterns which let you architect your storage, and then you run some engine or some compute on top of them to get to where you want to in your data engineering process or in your data analytics process. You store these files in either cloud storage or your own personal cloud. But most of the time, when you go to public clouds, you store them either in your AWS S3 buckets or Azure Blob Storage or Google Cloud Services. Snowflake combine this data by using either external tables and now Iceberg. How does it do that? It has now enabled Unify Iceberg table, which is basically a convergence from native and external table. And it allows you to write one single object and then manage it in two modes. What are those two modes? One is managed, where you get a fully managed Snowflake service end-to-end for your Iceberg tables, which will not only let you read, write, but also make it interoperable. Then you also use this in an unmanaged way, where you have your Iceberg table built by some other cataloging services, built by other engines, platforms, where you can use these unmanaged Iceberg table within Snowflake. You can join them with other data sets that you have on Snowflake or on other external tables. So you can wrap an engine around this unmanaged Iceberg table. We're going to talk a little bit more about these individual tables. And we go. Let's first talk about the managed Iceberg table. So in managed Iceberg table, you will have an Iceberg table in open table format. You will store it in your own storage buckets or storage accounts. But you'll use Snowflake to do full read and writes. You will use Snowflake to perform a full platform support. For example, you can do data governance, you can do PII masking, you can do time travel, all through Snowflake. What you will get in return is an interoperable Iceberg table format, which is enabled in your own external storage, and also a performance optimized Iceberg. We'll talk about performance later in the slides, but also let's look into the other world, which is the unmanaged Iceberg table. So not only the managed Iceberg table where you do everything through Snowflake, but also we are supporting unmanaged Iceberg table. So you have an external table outside of Snowflake. It can be simple Parquet files, or it can be an Iceberg table which you build through other tools. You'll be allowed to use those within Snowflake as well. So it provides you a very efficient way to onboard that data within Snowflake without actually storing them into Snowflake. There are a few table concepts that we are introducing. We are introducing external volume. We are also introducing a catalog integration. And then using these two objects, you can build your Iceberg tables. Why it's useful, why it's important, because then you don't have to rekey in your credentials for your external volume, for your external storage, again and again as you use this table. You don't have to rekey in your catalog APIs or catalog integration again and again once you create this object. It will also let you create multiple Iceberg table using the same objects that you have created, meaning the same storage that you have already enabled through external volume, or if you have an external catalog, like for example, Glue, if you're using Glue catalog, if you're using REST catalog, once you integrated that catalog with Snowflake, you can reuse that and create multiple tables in Snowflake. So what do you get? So far in Snowflake journey, if you look towards the left-hand side, we started with external tables. So if you have raw JSON, raw Parquet, raw Avro, ORC files, CSV files, you can integrate that with Snowflake using external tables. So you can bring that data into Snowflake, use them to join with your data native tables in Snowflake. And then you also used to get your internal tables where you store that data within Snowflake. You get full set of governance, you get full set of end-to-end connection with Snowflake. You get a very high performance query engine, and then you get a data governance built in. All this data in internal table reside in Snowflake managed buckets, Snowflake managed storage. But now with Iceberg, what you're getting is a storage bucket of your choice. So you choose the storage where you want to store this data. Snowflake will manage the Iceberg table for you, or it will connect to an Iceberg table which you built. And then you can put that metadata back into your storage bucket. So your other engines, like for example, Spark, can still use that data without going through the Snowflake route. So you can completely bypass Snowflake engine and use the Iceberg table that you built using Snowflake. So both ways are now allowed and enabled. And this is right now in public preview. We will soon be moving to GA early this year or end of this year. In terms of performance and trade-offs, so we have seen a significant performance improvement of moving on to Iceberg without just leaning on to Parquet files. So if we have, let's say, 1 terabyte of Parquet files versus 1 terabyte of these Parquet files built into an Iceberg table, what we have seen a 2x to 3x performance benefits. And if you build the same Iceberg table using Snowflake managed Iceberg table, that performance is almost at par at the internal Iceberg table. So the native format is very close to what you get with Snowflake managed Iceberg table as well. That is it from my side. Thank you so much for listening.
Time for questions, if you wanna.
Yes.
So the metadata that you're talking about, Iceberg, you have moved that out of
Yes.
a little Postgres database or whatever that Trino or Spark was using, storing that on the S3 disk. Is that correct?
That is correct. So this slide is important. If you see in the middle, we not only have the storage of the data files, but we also export the metadata, which is used for Iceberg. So you can connect to this Iceberg table without going into Snowflake.
So no REST catalog, right?
REST catalog is in the works. We are still developing a REST catalog, but you can still connect to Iceberg table using the metadata that we have put there. Great question, by the way. Anybody else? Any questions? Hey, Ryan. Yeah.
When do you expect write support to external catalogs?
That is still in discussion. I won't say it's in development, but it's still in discussion. That's an option that we have left open. We are still thinking and working on it. I think it will come close when we release the first version of the REST catalog. So we will have a solid plan then, depending upon, again, the adoption. Most of Snowflake customers are corporate enterprise industry customers. They don't want to use too many engines to use that data. Some of them does use Spark. So that was one of the motivation to go for Iceberg. Some of them uses their own engine, their own built-in managed services. So that's again one of the motivation to go for Iceberg. We are not seeing a huge uptick in demand for something federated as of now. Maybe that will change after REST catalog.
Support for quality deletes anytime soon in your query engine?
Yes, there is a plan. Yeah, so not towards the first GA, but post GA we are working on equality deletes. Oh, sure. So the question was, do we have plan for equality deletes? And I believe the question is also inclined towards will we support row level deletes and all. Yes, there is a plan. It will come not close to this GA, but soon after the GA, we will start working on rest of the things that are need to be enabled for Iceberg and Snowflake.